Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will start our new chapter, that is chapter number 4, pollutants and their effects on environment. In this chapter we will discuss the sources of air pollutants, their effects and the ways to reduce air pollution. Students, you know that clean air is essential to life. Unfortunately, much of the air we breathe is not clean. It contains solid particles and poisonous gases which are harmful to us. These solid particles and poisonous gases are air pollutants. In the lesson 1 of chapter number 4, we will discuss air pollutants and their sources. So first of all, what are air pollutants? The poisonous and harmful substances which pollute the air are called air pollutants. Air pollutants can change weather, they can affect human health and can damage plants and destroy buildings. They can affect us directly or indirectly. In the direct way, they affect human health, reduce crop yield, can damage rubber products such as tires, can cause erosion of marble buildings. The term erosion means gradual destruction. So they can cause gradual destruction of marble buildings. In the indirect way, they can change climate. Now the sources of air pollutants. We have basically two types of sources, natural and anthropogenic. The term anthropogenic means human caused or man-made. Firstly, we will discuss natural sources. Certain atmospheric gases are produced by natural sources like trees, swamps, and oceans. Swamp is a wet land with wild plants growing in it. Termites are also a source of air pollutants because they can emit significant amount of methane gas. Lightning can produce oxides of nitrogen in air, so it is also a source of air pollution. Volcanic eruption is also a natural source of air pollution because when volcano erupts, then it produces poisonous gases like oxides of carbon and oxides of sulfur. Dust storms. They are also a natural source of air pollution. Dust storms contain dust particles. The larger or heavier dust particles will settle quickly, but the smaller particles, they remain suspended in air for long time. So they can irritate the lungs and can cause a number of respiratory problems. Rotting of vegetation. The decay of plant matter, or you can say the decomposition of organic matter. It produces a number of gases like methane, hydrogen sulfide, carbon monoxide. Now the anthropogenic sources. Combustion of fossil fuel in vehicles, power plants and industries is the main source of air pollutants. When fossil fuel like petrol or natural gas are burnt in the internal combustion engine of vehicles, then they produce poisonous gases like carbon monoxide, oxides of nitrogen, unburnt hydrocarbons and smoke. Smoke contains unburnt carbon particles suspended in air. So the combustion of fossil fuels in vehicles is one of the major sources of air pollutants. When fuels like coal and natural gas, petrol, they are burnt in thermal power stations and factories, then they produce a number of poisonous gases like oxides of carbon, oxides of sulfur, oxides of nitrogen. Now the types of pollutants. Basically, we have two types of pollutants, primary and secondary. Primary pollutants are the waste or exhaust products which are produced by the combustion of fossil fuels and decomposition of organic matter. Primary pollutants include particulate matter like soot and dust particles. Soot is a smoke which contains unburned carbon particles suspended in air. Oxides of sulfur like sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. Oxides of nitrogen like nitrogen monoxide and nitrogen dioxide. Oxides of carbon like carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. Metallic compounds like compounds of lead. Compounds of lead are present in the exhaust fumes of vehicles when the petrol containing lead compounds is burned in the internal combustion engine of a vehicle. Hydrocarbons like methane is produced by the decomposition of organic matter. Likewise, ammonia, it is also produced by the decomposition of organic matter. Chlorofluorocarbons, which are present in aerosol sprays. Now the secondary pollutants. Secondary pollutants are produced by various reactions of primary pollutants. They include sulfuric acid, which is produced by the reaction of sulfur dioxide with water in the presence of air. Carbonic acid, it is produced by the reaction of carbon dioxide with water. Nitric acid, it is produced by the reaction of nitrogen dioxide with water in the presence of air. Ozone. Ozone in this part of atmosphere where we live is considered as a pollutant, and it is produced by the reaction of oxides of nitrogen when they release oxygen atom. That oxygen atom reacts with oxygen molecule, and as a result ozone is formed. Peroxyacetyl nitrate or PAN. It is also produced by the reaction of oxides of nitrogen and unburned hydrocarbons. They are involved in the formation of PAN, and this is also a secondary pollutant. Now we will discuss some common air pollutants and their sources. Fossil fuel like coal, natural gas, oil, petrol, etc. and aerosols are the main sources of air pollutants. One of the common air pollutants is carbon monoxide. Naturally, carbon monoxide is produced by the decomposition of organic matter and in volcanic eruption, but it is also produced due to certain human activities, and particularly the combustion of fossil fuels. Carbon monoxide is produced by the incomplete combustion of coal and other fossil fuels like natural gas, petrol, oil. When fuels like petrol, diesel or natural gas are burnt in internal combustion engine, the amount of oxygen present is limited, so carbon monoxide is formed. So the smoke released from motor vehicles and industries is the main source of carbon monoxide, and it is a very poisonous gas. Sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is produced naturally by the decomposition of organic matter and during volcanic eruption. But due to certain human activities, it is also produced, and particularly the combustion of fossil fuel. Sulfur dioxide is produced by burning of coal or oil in factories. Smoke released from the thermal power stations also contain sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is produced in large quantities during volcanic eruption, but we know that this is the natural source. Now the oxides of nitrogen. Oxides of nitrogen like nitrogen monoxide and nitrogen dioxide, naturally they are produced in the process of lightning. During thunderstorms, the heat energy released by lightning causes nitrogen and oxygen which are present in air to react and form oxides such as nitrogen monoxide and nitrogen dioxide. When nitrogen in air reacts with oxygen in the presence of heat which is released during lightning, nitrogen monoxide is produced, and then this nitrogen monoxide is oxidized to to nitrogen dioxide. It is also produced by certain human activities like the combustion of fossil fuel. When fuel is burnt in industries, in thermal power stations and in vehicle engines, then heat energy is produced. And in the presence of that heat, the air which is present there, it contains nitrogen and oxygen. These nitrogen and oxygen, they react and form nitrogen monoxide. Chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons are the compounds of carbon, fluorine and chlorine. Chlorofluorocarbons are used in aerosol sprays, refrigerators and air conditioning system. Aerosol sprays usually contain liquid particles and pressurized gas. They produced aerosol mist of liquid particles. The examples of aerosol sprays are hairsprays and the spray paints, etc. On leakage from appliances like air conditioner and refrigerators, chlorofluorocarbons, they enter the air. The examples of chlorofluorocarbons are CCl2F2, dichloro-difluorocarbon, CCl3F, trichlorofluorocarbon. They are considered as air pollutants because they cause the depletion or destruction of ozone layer in the upper atmosphere. Thank you students. Allah Hafiz.